This is a Conversation Project. I am Jay Clifton Payne. We produce this thing live weekday mornings, Monday through Friday, 5:50 a.m. Central Time. A little late this morning as we are dealing with some breaking news after Super Tuesday. Nothing really super happened, although Joe Biden did lose a primary and Nikki Haley did win a primary, but she also bowed out of the race, or is bowing out of the race in a few hours. So we had to do some drops on that one. So apologies for that one. But what we have for you in this actual story here, something a bit more evergreen, are 8 of the top past news stories from the day. More evergreen that you called conversational, covering information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. We have you all set for yesterday's news. Today's news kind of threw us off track for a bit, but we'll tell you about the vetting process and give you some today things at the end of the show here. So stick around for all the great stuff for the live or recorded thing you're getting for this right now, whether video, audio, or in the just headline versions in the newsletters. Our website, this is conversationproject.com. Our email address, conversationinbox@gmail.com. Check out our website and email us when you want to about things that are going on. Now, let's get into the news stories for today, because if you're watching this live, yeah, I know you've got places to be, things to do. So let's get into the news for today. Now, these stories are in no particular order as they're being presented. They just sort of laid out as they did. And we'll explain to you as we go deeper into them how the vetting process works for all of this. So don't be shy and you tell us what you think about it. We will get into all the bits and pieces. Headline number 1, and this was the big apocalypse headline for yesterday: Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and Threads platforms all down in widespread outage. First, it was AT&T. Now it is the Meta platforms, all 4 of them: Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and Threads, who are all attached to the major components. We're all down for a long stretch of time yesterday morning, which had more people going to Twitter, which is weird, to explain how this is how the world end is essentially happening again, because no Facebook, no nothing, no one to go through it. Now, Facebook may be a dying platform and the other things may not be going so well, but apparently enough people were off of Facebook that people thought they were all hacked, or found out that there was just a platform outage. The widespread outage was taken care of pretty quickly. In fact, so quickly I didn't actually notice it, and we didn't get too many missed posts in our actual feeds going through there, so I didn't really notice it because I was sort of busy working at the time. But it was a big deal for many folks out there, because the Instagram is how they live, how they make their money, how things happen. So if you were worried about it yesterday, it's back up, no real issues. If you worried about this being the second of 2 really big outages in the last couple of weeks, then maybe you should actually stay worried. Our headline for number 2, and this is a story that people really cared about, the number 1 story for the morning, all day long, when it got posted in the late morning: Princess of Wales to appear in June for royal ceremony, first confirmed official duty since surgery. Princess of Wales, that is Kate Middleton, I'm sorry, Catherine, if you will, is going to be out and about again in June. The first time she's out there officially on the calendar, because she had her surgery, her abdominal surgery, which we know it was abdominal surgery, but we have not seen or heard none of her since then. We've heard a lot about Prince Charles, who went into surgery essentially right after her, or went for a checkup, found out he had cancer. I'm still not sure what cancer it is, but he went to check on his prostate, found out he has cancer, and he's been pretty vocal about cancer awareness. We're not sure what the actual thing that Kate had, although many people are going from the cosmetic side. Why did it take this long to recover? No one knows, but people care for Kate. The British care for Kate. We around the world care for Kate. We want to know where Kate is. Kate is doing fine. We shall see her in June. So prepare for a lovely return to the Princess of Wales to the ceremony set in June. At number 3 this morning, CNN shuts down its Atlanta headquarters, called CNN Center, after 35 years after it cuts costs. CNN actually took down the letters, a big sign at CNN in front of the building many months ago. So that big iconic CNN building, or the sign, the letters have been gone. But they've officially shut down all workings at that center. The Atlanta hub is no longer, basically cutting costs for what's going on. CNN and its parent companies are trying to save a lot of money. And CNN is a big major operation. News, big major operation. I say that often here. This is a labor of love, but a labor that takes resources, and we don't have enough resources to do all the love we want to do. CNN having 2 major hubs became an issue. So with everything now being moved officially to New York City for cosmetic reasons at first, and now because it's all there, everybody's there, the Atlanta headquarters is now no longer valid. It is gone. So people working in Atlanta are spread to smaller buildings, smaller bureaus. It's not like the bureau is gone, but the major headquarters that they used to have a live show there every morning or every afternoon in the lobby going on back then. That's where Bobby Batista cut her teeth doing headline news. Yeah, I'm that old. CNN, as a product of my childhood, a product of history, is not what it is, but we do know the headquarters in Atlanta, which is iconic because it's founded by a guy who's from Atlanta, is no longer. Number 4 headline for this morning reads like this: Bitcoin hits record high on increased investor appetite. If you're watching the video, here's a chart of Bitcoin, and it's pretty big, pretty good. So what does this chart mean? It means I hope you bought your Bitcoin 3-4 months ago, so because it's worth something now and are willing to sell it within the next 2 weeks, because chances are there's going to be a crash. Officially, from the article from our robot editor, Bitcoin's price has soared, nearing its 2021 all-time high. The cryptocurrency reached up to $68,848.62, marking its highest level since November 2021. The significant increase comes amid a broader array of crypto markets, with Ethereum also experienced gains. So here's the big thing on Bitcoin and all your crypto. Right now, there's sort of a revival of the meme coins, the kind of silly coins, and of course, Bitcoin's riding away with that. Bitcoin is going to make you some money right now. Will it stay that way? Who knows? I care because I went ahead and bought some more crypto when it was really cheap a few months back. Right now, it's making big money, and I'm really threatening to sell it really soon because I could use the cash. If I hold on longer, we'll see how it goes. But remember the big rise and big fall before? Think GameStop. This could be a big thing for you, but you should have bought your crypto months ago. So be wary of what you buy right now on the up end, because how far is up? I'm sure we shall find out very soon. 5th story headline: more than 10,000 players, but not Texas QB Arch Manning, have opted into EA Sports coverage of football 2025. So EA Sports is back in the sports business, back in the sports game business, back in the college sports games business, I should say. And EA, basically they dropped out of everything but football and hockey. I think they do a MMA one still going forward because they can't do professional wrestling. But Texas quarterback Arch Manning is one of the few people who've opted out of appearing in EA Sports College Football 25. Multiple reports said that he's just not going to do it. He doesn't think he's ready. He doesn't think he's there. His decision is because he's not the big-time starter at Texas, so he doesn't think he should get there. Now, Arch Manning, not wanting for any cash with, famous dad, famous uncles, and, Archie, his granddad. So he doesn't have any issues getting money for sandwiches. I think he'll be okay. And I'm sure there's some NIL money that's going to him just because he's Arch Manning regardless. But whatever the big cut he'll get from being in the college football game, because everyone in there just has to opt in to get their likeness and their money from it, he's skipping on that one. He probably also is trying to avoid any Madden AEA curse that may pop up now that they're putting official likenesses in these college games, at least ahead of time. In the past, for basketball, it was like the last year's champion, but now it's this year's guy. Let's go to the story we have listed at number 6 for this morning, and that headline reads: Labor victory for Dartmouth basketball players, only start of path to union deal. So, speaking of players making money, Dartmouth University, the basketball players are going to unionize. They've won an actual appeal, and so they have reached out based on the National Labor Relations Act to unionize. One college basketball team will unionize, the men's team. What does this mean for college sports? It means a lot, actually. The NIL notwithstanding, if this team can deem themselves as employees of the school, because them showing up for basketball games brings people to the gym and brings money to the school, this is a big deal. And this is just for basketball. Think about the football teams that make the real money for schools. Unfortunately, the gymnastics team, the track and field team, the volleyball teams, those teams are supported by the money-making teams, which are football and basketball, maybe baseball in some cases. We also see how this one plays out when they actually go through the deals and make themselves unions. And for a school where for a union where the main players are only there for about 4 years, maybe 3, we'll see what happens, especially with the revolving door that is a transfer portal as well. People can come in and out. We don't know what this will mean totally for college sports because we're dealing with both name, image, and likeness and the chances of unionizing itself, but it's meaning a lot less for the athletes that are student athletes and the amateur status that they live under. We usually kick the kicker story for number 8, but we're going to do number 7 because I have a special one for the 8th story today. Here's your headline. Women with unfortunate initials goes viral after HR refuses to use her name in email. Now, what's her name? So here's the thing. As a person who deals with IT and deals with names, and especially with females who tend to get married and or divorced and change their names and weird spellings, this is a pain in the butt. So your typical stance for many email addresses at companies are first initial, last name. And if you have more people first initial, first 2 initials in the last name. However, Samantha Hart is a TikToker from Virginia who asked the platform what she should do because HR refuses to not use her name Samantha Hart, but use the standard deviation, which is S and Hart, which if you put those together, have a word that's a pretty profane. We're not going to say it. We'll let you do it together. Just go S Hart, put it together. So it kind of sounds a little nasty, sounds a little dirty, and she's a little worried about it. Apparently, HR is like, nope. I've dealt with this myself at HR. We had a new employee who wanted to go by a nickname because he didn't go by his given name. And I also by HR, what's on his paperwork and on his check is his name. So go tell him that his name is blank. Real iteration, true story. Still dealing with the reverberation of that one. But I don't mess with people who sign my check. So his name is what HR said his name is. Finally, Jeff Bezos dethrones Elon Musk to become the richest person on earth again. So Jeff Bezos, at the time of this writing, basically yesterday-ish, once again, the world's richest man. Bitch is a whole nother thing. Surpassing Elon Musk, the shift is rankings comes as Bezos' future fortunes reached around 200 billion, edging out Musk approximately by about 2 billion at the moment. Now, most of these things are because it's not literally in a vault where he swims through like Scrooge McDuck, which would be sort of awesome. It's actually mostly in stocks, mostly in things he owns, mostly in investments. Just like Donald Trump is a billionaire, but it's most of his money is tied up in actual buildings, and liquidizing that would make him less of a billionaire. This is what happens for the rich guys here. And this is why they go up and down the list and why they go so far up and down, back and forward. Now, remember this, Jeff Bezos is now the richest man in the world again, because there will be a quiz coming soon. I promise. There will be a quiz on this one today. And here's a quick picture of the two. Number 1 and number 2 at the moment, or in any day now, it'll be number 2 and number 1 again, because they flip-flop fairly often. In our apologies, errors, and omissions section, very quickly, Dakota Johnson says she'll probably never do anything like Marvel flop Madam Web again. Hard to read that one, but it got threw me off because technically Madam Web's a Sony movie, but that's all in technicalities. Dakota Johnson talked about the movie Madam Web. You may have saw the Sky Night Live skit where Sydney Sweeney said, "You see me in a bunch of things, but probably not Madam Web because nobody saw it." And that's the case here. Dakota Johnson said she took the role, but knowing good and well that it wasn't based on the art, the directors and actors putting on a great performance, but a committee of people trying to make money. And the money they tried to make did not come out there. So because of that, a paint by the numbers, done by committee movie was something she'll never probably do again. She can have that clout to do that. Some folks don't have much clout because if you throw money at something, somebody will take those roles. We'll see how this plays out. Check out the link we have for this one, or look for that online. As she says that she blasts Hollywood for how they're making movies these days, and many people are applauding her words. What we have now is our teaser story for the morning. This is a story that we are teasing for a chance to talk about tomorrow. And this is where we also get a chance to explain the feeds, how we get the stories lined up for you to engage in every single day. And it's very simple. You go to our feeds, which are links on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/thisisconversationproject and Twitter or X.com/th_conversation. Every 50 minutes or so, we post a news link from various different sources. Some of them, honestly, more reputable than others. Some of them more bloggy than others. Some of them you just don't like because they're not the brand of news you want to get to. But we take stories with different headlines and different things to kind of get people to see what's going on. And you engage in the stories. And how you engage makes the engagement work? Do you like them? You hate them? You love them? You share them? The more engagement you give to a story, the better chance we have of talking about that. Yesterday, we teased a story about Arch Manning not being on EA Sports College Football 25. We talked about it. It was a top 15 story. Today, we're hyping this story here. Who is Jason Palmer? A previous unknown Democrat beats Biden in American Samoa's Democratic caucus. Now, when we prepped this morning, we thought the big deal was going to be that Jason Palmer got American Samoa from Joe Biden, Nikki Haley got Vermont from Donald Trump, and it was just sort of a play by ears. Jason Palmer is still running for what he's doing, but knows he's not going to win. Nikki Haley was supposed to still be running, but knows she's not going to win. Of course, breaking news, Nikki Haley is probably getting out of the race later today as we record this. But who is Jason Palmer? Why is he running? And why does this matter? Check out the link, read his story. It's a great story and it means something. And it tells you what Dean Phillips was trying to do, but is failing on his end. But we'll talk about this one tomorrow in our top 8 or top 15. We take the top 15 stories per day and we'll give you 8 of them in your countdown here. So you make this a top 15 story, we got you covered. We'll talk about more Jason Palmer. Otherwise, his one win in American Samoa may be the last we hear of him going forward. He is now a footnote in history, but a very, very tiny footnote. Let's talk about our sponsor on a spotlight today, and that is Zenni Optical. My glasses to my right here this morning as I'm trying to read, and I probably should have them on going forward. But Zenni Optical is taking care of my optician needs, or my glasses need. Not exactly the optician. I see my optician actually tomorrow, and so she will hopefully give me great praise and try to convince me to buy those bifocals, because Mr. Payne, you should be thinking about bifocals. You're at that age, and it goes from there. I may be thinking about those bifocals, and I'll get them from Zenni Optical because they take good care of me and my eyes for the price that it is. Great frames, not cheap frames, great frames that start as low as $6.95 for frames. Lenses, great lenses, not cheap lenses that will also be in your price range. You don't have to pay someone $100 to send back glasses. You buy the glasses you want and send them back if you want to. It's that simple. If you don't like them, send them back. They'll give you your money back. Just like that one. So what do you get from Zenni Optical? Great glasses for men, women, and children. Great glasses with technology such as blue blocking technology and for transitions technology. Sports glasses that are strong enough to battle any sort of sports situation you have. And great price, great customer service, great people. Use our link. This is theconversationproject.com/Zenni. This is theconversationproject.com/Zenni, Zenni. This is an affiliate link, so if you buy from them, we get a small commission from you stepping in the store, but it won't cost you anything extra. You will love your eyes. Your eyes will love you, and you'll love the way you look with your eyes. I guess that makes sense. Using glasses, buying glasses, preferring glasses from Zenni Optical. The Conversation Project lives online at this is conversationproject.com, and this is where we get a chance to promote us, and we love doing that because we love you guys. Now, here's the deal. We need help. We always need help, and this, as I say often, if you're new here, then this may be first time hearing this, this project is a labor of love and a labor of labor. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of resources to run any sort of news operation. And I'm just aggregating news from various stories. I'm taking time out of the day to pull different stories, put them in our feeds, and see what you engage in them. And then you guys actually help me pick out the rundown. But it's based off you guys. The commentary that I think I'm giving, the talking I'm doing with folks, the true conversations I'm having with people in chat and an email on these stories, I think is big, I think is grand, and I've had great grand details for this project, which is going on 10 years, a bit over 10 years old in its original aspiration to have conversations. I'd like to grow that. I'm also dealing with some trying times at home, and that's a double entendre with trying times at home, in the home, at the home. And so we'd like to grow this some more so I can get more out of this one and spend less time with other things. If you deem us worthy, go to our website. This is conversationproject.com. Visit our sponsors. Anytime you want a sponsor, they can help you out. That's what they're there for. Visit our partnerships page. Many people in the online creator space are leaning less on sponsors and advertisers and more on partners, more on Patreon fans, more on folks who are ponying up directly. If I could do that, that would be awesome. So if you deem me worthy of literally your hard-earned cash for what we're doing, go to our partnerships page, find a way to partner up, connect with me, and we will do more things. You'll get more say, more behind the scenes what's going on here, guaranteed, to help us grow and shape this thing. Now, if you are not in that area, you can't afford it, or you don't deem me quite ready to give over your cash, give me your opinions. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter and make sure you are engaging with us, letting us know what's going on so we can know what to do. Email me at the conversation inbox, gmail.com, and tell me exactly what's going on, even if you're doing it for free, because all your comments are worthy of listening to and taking in. Some of them are a little mean, I will admit, but all your comments are valid. We thank you so much for what you do. The free stuff is literally the most important stuff, but if you are up to giving us a little bit extra to help us work the things around here, we do appreciate that. And now, as promised, fun stuff. Fun stuff happens every single weekday morning for the Conversation Projects, things you might have heard. And we always begin with a birthday. Birthdays are the funnest of the fun stuff. And this birthday that we're spotlighting off the bat is Martin Kove, who is, believe it or not, 78 years old. If you see him, start to believe that. 3 words: sweep the leg. All you need to hear. Also, DL Hughley turned 61 and Shaquille O'Neal 52. I think they're both Q dogs. I know DL got a honorary bid into a sorority a few years back, and I think Shaquille O'Neal is a Q. So happy birthday to the frat brothers on the day. Our history lesson. Told you there was a quiz. On this day in 2018, Forbes named Amazon founder Jeff Bezos the world's richest person for the first time. And so he's gone flip-flop back and forth in that list for the last 6 years. Congratulations on that one, until Elon Musk is back at number 1, probably in a couple hours. And today, every day we have a celebration. Why not Oreo Cookie Day? Well, you can say why not because you don't like Oreo cookies. If that's the case, you need to really evaluate your life, because Oreo cookies are awesome. And whether you are a fan of the Hydrox or the Oreos themselves, they are essentially chocolate or vanilla or whatever cream you want sandwich cookies that are delicious and do go well with milk. I know most of us now are lactose intolerant, can't actually deal with the milk, but if you're not dunking your cookies in milk and twisting one over so often and licking out the cream, you need to reevaluate your life, because there's something really wrong with you. It's Oreo Cookie Day. Get a cookie, get a cake, get some Oreo cookie ice cream. Find some Oreo cookies for your life today, because you could probably use a little bit of love in the form of empty calories on the day. Go for that. And we're glad you went for us today on this Wednesday, March the 6th, 2024 edition of Things You Might Have Heard. My name is Jay Cleveland Payne, and I am so blessed to have you along the ride for us in this thing. If you're new here watching us live, we had a lot of numbers on here live today, so we'll check back in the stats going forward, and watching you live, going live at normally 5:50, a little late today because we're trying to deal with the breaking news on Nikki Haley. Hopefully it does break it so we don't feel dumb about it happening this afternoon, where she will probably concede and give up in the election. But otherwise, every single weekday morning, we give you stories from the past day, for Monday, past weekend, that were relevant based on your engagement. You told us what were relevant, and we give them to you in this digest to talk about throughout the day. Make sure you're staying limber, hydrated, and on task for all the grand things you're here to do. It's not just about being views for me and getting clicks on my end. It's about life and living, and knowing that even when times look really, really dire, you are an important person in someone's life. You may not know it, you may not see it, but somebody out there is expecting you to be there today, tomorrow, and for quite some time. So be there and be the best you can be, and don't try anything to shorten your time here, because people need you as long as possible. Follow us on our feeds, check out our link on our website for our partnerships, and just be good folks. Enjoy your Wednesday. Love you, mean it. Get you some Oreo cookie cake, get you some Oreo ice cream. Just eat a box of cheap generic Oreos. It all fits. It all works. And plus, 0 calories. That last part's a lie. We'll see you tomorrow morning as we do another one of these things for the Thursday edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard.